And then we do that, and then we do that, and then we say, hey, everybody, we're live. Today is Monday, March 2nd. Boom, caught it. Today, phone calls for an hour, whatever you guys want to talk about.
Oh, boy.
Here we go.
At the kitchen table by the pepper and the salt, you can begin your adventure where the warm waters halt. No harsh sun, no rain that pours. Do your Forrest Fenn search indoors. It's safer and it goes much faster. It's more fun than playing canasta. If you're wise and you find the blaze, you can play several times in just one day. Chase awfully, the thrill of the chase. Take your journey without ever leaving your place. It's fun for the young, it's fun for the old. Get your title to the gold when your real search for the treasure needs a break. Play Chaseopoly, the thrill of the chase. Chaseopoly, the thrill of the chase.
Yeah, okay. How's everybody doing today on this Monday night? Ready for some phone calls? Yeah.
Real quick, since I'm going off my machine tonight, I'm getting a delay.
So that means you're listening to YouTube, not Zoom somehow.
Right, because I have both of them on my machine.
Well, then mute the YouTube one.
How do I do that?
In YouTube, like hit mute on the in YouTube. You know what I'm saying? There's a volume.
YouTube. How do I do that?
When you look at the screen of YouTube,
okay,
you put your mouse over the video, and right there, like mine's muted. You see the volume? Yeah. Okay.
I'm happy.
All right, first time we've been on, everybody. Here we go. That's fine.
I usually go off my iPad. I'm sorry, I'm not the technical wizard. Maybe I should just be banned. Do you want to ban me?
What's your shirt say? The Orleans? Is it from the casino, the Orleans? Or is it New Orleans?
Yeah, no, I play in a poker room called the Orleans. That's when you took my son to a movie.
Oh, you got the shirt? Oh, I see. Okay.
I rocked it.
All right, everybody. So tonight's the crazy phone call night. So we'll talk about whatever you want to. Treasure hunt related. Remember that. We're not going off topic as long as you keep it treasure hunt related. So, yeah, I don't have the phone lines open yet, but we will.
Okay, I need to go back down and see.
You good?
Oh, look at all these highlights. I'm so good. I just needed muting, and you wanted to do the little zings. What's wrong with you? So I got cats jumping on my keyboard. I mean...
Hey, one thing we are going to show is we got a little eBay auction that's going to end tonight. This is an original illustration of the bullet from Too Far to Walk. And it ends in 49 minutes. So at the end of the show, we'll bring it up and count. We'll do the countdown, and we'll watch it as it ends the last couple minutes. But it is at $411 with 14 bids, and it's got 49 minutes to go. So if you guys, anybody out there is interested, if you go to eBay, put in Forrest Fenn, you'll see the picture of the bullet. And somebody said that's Peggy in the car. So there we go. It's pretty cool little drawing.
Okay, I need to take something's happened. There is water everywhere, and it's on my computer. I need to go get some paper towels. I'll be right back in just a second.
Okay. I guess we could just take some phone calls while Kpro's away, huh? How's everybody doing tonight? Remember to thumbs up the video for phone calls. Thumbs up the video for Kpro's cat. Oh, there she goes. Remember, Super Chat's on if you want to do that. And, well, tonight, if you have a question, you can just call in. Although I know it's kind of hard to get through sometimes because we only take one call at a time. But the computer has coronavirus. That's nice. The PhD needs towels. That's nice. Kpro's water broke. Oh, that's nice, Copper Dan. That's real nice.
Okay, I went away for a second. Look what happens.
I'm just reading the chat. That's all.
Oh, that's nice. I could read the chat sometimes too, darling.
Copper Dan weighed in there. Okay. Okay, everybody. Nice. Okay, let's turn the phone lines on. Let me go. Let me go here.
happened?
Let me go here. I don't know
I
what
have
you're
no
doing over
idea
there.
what happened in my world here.
Okay, phone lines are open. Who's going to be the first lucky caller? I will say this. Some people, because I put a picture of Forrest on the phone, seem to think that you would be asking questions directly to Forrest. That's not the case, everybody. That picture is readily available on the internet for anybody to use if they wanted to for their video. So you'll be asking questions of me and Miss Kpro. Your green screen kind of went over a little bit there, Kpro. Or your camera went over.
We're dealing.
There you go. Where'd the cat go? The cat took off?
No, the cat. Let's just keep
Oh, here we go. Are you ready? Kpro's
I
all
don't know.
discombobulated.
I'm discombobulated.
Kpro and Cow.
Am I number one, Mike?
You are number one. And who is this? Wait, talk. I can tell who it is.
It's guy who thinks he knows everything.
The lawyer.
That does not narrow it down.
Wait, who is it?
Not the lawyer.
Who is
Nah,
it?
this is Dave.
Oh, Dave. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Man, you sounded like Joel Lewicki, I thought. I am good. What's going on this Monday night?
Hi, Christy.
Hi.
Let's see. I wanted to say that there seems to be a seriousness that's permeating, the chat rooms and such, and I think that maybe people should take themselves a little bit less seriously. That's what I want to say. And I'll listen for any debate afterwards. Thanks. Bye.
All right. Well, I would agree with that. I think people take the chase way too serious. Forrest himself has said it's supposed to be fun. It's all about having fun, right?
Yes. Well, and I will say, for those of you that have not been in the chase long, this is the most terrible time of year. There is a cycle, much like Christmas. You have the day after Thanksgiving. Well, if it was up to Walmart, the day after 4th of July, but the day after Thanksgiving, and then you buy, and then there's the seasons, and there's caroling, and then there's Christmas, and then there's the crash, and then all of that. I think we have a cycle, and the cycle is by this time, people are dancing. They are anxious. They are grumpy. They want to get out there. They don't want to be unsafe. So I will just tell you in general, I believe that we are in that same cycle, no matter how much we put out new content. And that's the reason we were trying to put out new content. We can't combat the cycle of the chase. So there you have. So,
That's what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm talking about. All right. Here we
I'm
go.
so excited that the soundboard is back.
Soundboard's back, everybody. Kpro and Cal.
Hey guys,
Hey, who we
how
got?
are you?
We're good.
This is Laura from the Philippines.
Laura from the Philippines. We talked to you before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked before.
That's awesome. What's going on in the Philippines? I hope not the coronavirus.
It's been a scare, but so far we're on the bottom of the list of things. So
Okay.
yeah. Well, I have a geographical theory for warm waters halt.
Okay.
Now I don't know if there's exactly a place like this, and it's hard to Google it just because a ton of stuff comes up aside from Forrest Fenn stuff. When you type warm waters into Google, it brings up so much stuff.
And it's all chase
what
related at this point. Yeah.
Right. But what if it's obviously a water feature, a body of water feature? It could be a lake or a river or something that catches warm waters.
What do you mean
if it's
catches?
salt, maybe it's a lake. Maybe.
Okay.
And warm water rivers flow into it. So it halts there.
Would it be only warm waters that flow into it somehow?
Maybe because where warm waters halt, maybe it's more than one source of warm water that flows into that lake. Possible? I don't know. I mean, it's just a conversation starter kind of theory thought, that.
So, yeah, the way I look at it is if you found such a place, would it fit what Forrest has said? I mean, could that be a viable candidate for where warm waters halt? So if the lake itself is warm to the touch when Kpro dips her toe in it, I would say, yeah, it's possible that could be it. But then if you find a bunch of those throughout the 4 states, how do you know which one? Right?
Well, then the only way to kind of edit that down is the next clue.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. So
Yeah.
you're researching this all the way from the Philippines? Are you on maps of the Rocky Mountains trying to figure out where it is?
Yeah, I've never been to any of these places, and yet it feels so familiar.
Now, are you from the U.S. originally?
I lived in the States for a few years, sure, in my 20s, yeah.
Okay, wow. So you are the little girl from India.
Yeah, but I was never in any of those areas. I was in San Francisco, I was in Boston, and then I was in Michigan, but I was never in any of those places. What's sad is the father of my son, we did a cross-country travel from San Francisco all the way to Michigan.
Oh, wow.
And we passed by New Mexico, and I was like, if we would have known at that time, we could have done something about it.
And is it Lori or Laura? Laura, right?
Laura, yeah.
Yeah, so whenever anybody brings up the little girl from India, I'm going to say Laura from the Philippines. Can get the first 2 clues, but cannot get closer to the first 2 clues.
Well, yeah.
I think she can get closer than that. Forrest ruled that out during our interview.
What? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, Kpro.
I was just saying, Forrest said, no, not during our interview. It was Jenny's. And he said, rule it out. I didn't say it like that.
So I don't remember that. Is that right?
I think Laura can get closer than the first 2 clues. I'm just saying.
Nice.
Now, if you found a spot that you really liked, Laura, would you make the trip?
I would. I definitely would.
Okay, that's some dedication. That's awesome.
And I would probably let you and Kpro know, and a gypsy's kiss, just so if I go missing, you guys can help find me.
Yeah, there you go.
To say, I am for many searchers, and we don't even do it publicly. They will say to me, I'm going boots on the ground Monday at noon. If I don't contact you by Friday at 7, please contact this person, or please contact, here's the sheriff's number, whatever. And I've done that for at least 20 searchers, just because they really don't want their spouse to freak out. It's mostly males. They don't want their spouse, because their wife is not particularly happy about the chase. And they're like, only contact her if I go missing. And I've only had one instance when somebody didn't, and I started freaking out. But within about 10 minutes of that deadline, they're like, oh, I had car trouble or something. And I'm like, oh, okay. You almost had spy people coming down in helicopters and all of that. So yes, always check in with somebody.
And then somebody.
I've heard you and Toby kind of say in passing before that you guys do that for other searchers. I think that's pretty good, and it's important, to touch base with someone within the chase too.
Yeah, safety's first, of course. Somebody said, write a note, leave it on the dashboard of your car. Like, I'm going hiking if I'm not back. And then somebody said, then they break into your car because they know you're gone. So that's nice. So I don't know. It's a real, you got to weigh that one, everybody.
Yeah. Well, I definitely make the trip if there's something that kind of forms that's a little bit more substantial instead of jumping around the way I am researching. But I'm going back to what Forrest said, one of his statements, and one of his many, many statements from before, that knowledge of geography could help. So looking at it from that standpoint, maybe it's a body of water that catches warm waters that flow into it. And it's not necessarily something that, I am so bad with the structure of bodies of water, but something that perhaps remains stagnant in the area. Mm-hmm. And it's where warm waters would halt. Where that is, I really don't know. So hard to Google it. But just a conversation starter. I'm stuck on that right now.
I hope that whatever the warm waters are we're looking for, there's only one of them. In all 4 states, there's one. But if it's if it's many, then how do we find the right one?
It might be the only one that Forrest went to that he felt special about, and then you can.
But then, how do we find it? Got to be a hint in the thrill of the chase, then, right?
TTOTC.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thanks, Laura. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, Laura. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
So Helen K says, just leave the poem on your dashboard. Or you could just leave one of these on your dashboards, and then people would know. And then when you open it, you got another one. Boom, you got another one inside there. So yeah, that's kind of funny. But check in with somebody, everybody. If you're going, when you go searching this summer, check in with somebody.
And
Okay.
I will say my one check-in partner, I don't believe he does this anymore. When I went, I was so excited about one of my stalls. Some people ask me if I've ever been a rooster. I've been that confident, and I decided to jump on a plane. I had some miles. I went out to my stall in the northern states. I did not find it, but there was
Pierce?
one.
That one?
I'm not saying which stall. I'm just saying that I was so excited, and this guy named Forrest, he's like, who are you going with? Who are you checking in with? I'm like, nobody needs to know. I don't want them to know I'm going to have the treasure chest. He's like, if you don't check in with me by 6 p.m., because I was up in West Yellowstone area, he's like, I'm going to be angry. I'm going to. And so he was like,
you checked in with Forrest. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And then I checked in, and I was a bitter Betty. I was
Upset,
a Debbie Downer. Yeah. I was a negative Millie. I was like, I'm so mad right now. And it wasn't my first boots on the ground. I was like, I'm so mad right now. I thought for sure I didn't go on the forums or in the chat. The chat rooms didn't even exist then. Or they did, but I didn't know about them. So I was like, thank you. I'm checking in so you don't send the SWAT team after me, but I am grumpy. You need to leave me alone right now. And he's like, so you didn't find it, but you had a good experience. I'm like, I'm by myself, and it's... Yeah, I told him the few locations. So anyway.
All right.
Alan, that was after the mile comment, or when I told him I'd never gone boots on the ground before I could make it a mile hiking with a pack. So.
And the numbers
we'll be waiting for your call. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. So Rusty Nipple says, and I agree, Mike, you need to set up a scrolling banner of the number.
Yes, I know. I haven't gotten around to it, but maybe it'll be a good goal for this weekend.
Garcon
to get on it. Right. Or I should put it back here, huh? I could actually just do a thing back here that says.
Looking Glass, you're gonna laugh. I was walking through the woods, scaring the bears away. I had, they tell you to talk really loud. I was singing. I had a bear bell. I had everything because I was only going like less than a half mile from the car. But I thought for sure, so when I lived in Kansas, I was scared of tornadoes. I grew up with earthquakes. I didn't care about earthquakes. So I was scared of grizzly bears. And so I used every precaution known to man to ensure I would not see a grizzly bear, and I will say it worked. And yeah, so there you
Long
go.
Island's hardcore detectorist. Hey, how are you? That's a new name. Thank you for everybody joining us tonight. I will say this, that I recently read Cynthia Meacham's book. You read it, right, Kpro, back in the day? Yeah, and I just read it recently. I just read it last night, which actually it's right over there. So I got to say, based on what she said, I believe none of the clues are a man-made structure. But hey, that's hearsay, everybody. That's just an opinion.
I want to see, because Forrest actually signed my Cynthia book. Oh,
Forrest signed it or Cynthia signed it?
Oh, they both did.
Oh, that's
that
cool.
That was when I met them both.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a fun one. Yeah. Okay, I can't, it's not right here. I have a whole bunch of stuff behind the green screen and some stuff in front. Better safe than sorry. What's the difference between black bear poop and grizzly bear poop? I don't care. I'm not around any bear. I don't care which one is. No, that's like saying which snake. My ex-husband used to say to me, well, if it's garden snake, you can go over and put it. No, I'm not around any snakes. I'm not around any bears. That's how it works. So, no. What is Kpro and Mike's email? Mine is kpro3@aol.com. Mike's is Daniel. Mike's is Cowlazars@gmail.com, because everyone knows the really technical people are still on AOL.
AOL. All we need is a flip phone and you'll be all set. I'll see you on Stranger Things on Netflix. Yeah, right. Pretty much.
Okay, let's be nice.
Yeah. So phone number's in the chat. Remember, you have to be a subscriber to call in. There's one rule. If you're not subscribed to the channel, you can't call in. I just made that up.
Lee A says, I have pepper spray strong enough to scare the grizzlies off. I'll send you some. Now, here's the problem. So I now have gone through some pretty significant gun training and how to use different guns, how to aim, etc.
Okay.
I have not dealt with an intruder at a significant level. I will just say I've had to get a gun out and be ready, but I have not had someone break in where here's what I see. If I have a 9mm, I'm going to have pretty good accuracy. If I have a shotgun, that's a spray. That's going to make sure that I don't have to be exact, because that adrenaline rushing, I'm going to be like this. And I'm probably, if I go after the grizzly, it's going to be way off, just like the spray. I feel the same way. I don't know if this is true or not. I always go with spray, but I kind of see it like a rifle. I need a rifle rather than a 9mm. I don't need a gun. I need something that's going to spray. So when I'm freaking out, I don't know, I'm protected. I don't know what that means, but
Billy Price is like, what's after AOL? It was still dial-up, but there was Net Zero. Anybody remember Net Zero, which was supposed to be free internet?
no, it was MySpace and AOL.
I was on AOL for a very short period of time, but
yeah, well, that's why it's funny when people say you're an advanced hacker. I'm like, if you knew me. Oh, but did you see House Husband? I think he's in here. House Husbands and Galore have teamed up and they did a test, and I had to get Mike on the phone, but I totally tried to help. And I just thought, oh my God, if they're counting on me, but they figured it out. I just happened to be throwing out different ideas, but it was really cool because I felt like I was a technical wizard of the world. Anyway.
Things seem to be running real slow. Net Zero, yeah. So back in my mom's basement back in Detroit, there's a whole stack of those free CDs you'd get for like AOL. Those things you could pick up like at the counter for free to install things. I got a whole stack of that stuff, like from the 90s. Prodigy. There's another one. All right. Let's see who we got.
Who do we have?
Kpro Cow, who do we got?
Yeah, Mike and Kpro, how's it going?
Hey, we're all right. How are you?
Great. A little bit of snow here in PEI.
PEI up there in Canada, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're about 3,000 miles away from the surge.
Oh, all right. So we
Okay,
got-
and I recall your voice from AGK, but I don't remember your name.
Doug.
Yeah, you got to remind us because we've talked to a lot of people, and a lot of it is we're like
Doug
from
Doug.
chat, from Thor, from and then we're putting the names. So what's going on up in Canada? Anything fun?
Oh, just relaxing. I was watching different videos from before, and I came across one of the interviews on someone really pressing Forrest Fenn back in 2013. Who is Brown?
Oh yeah, you put that in the chat, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That I think is in Cynthia's book as well. At least she puts the quote. Where didn't if I remember right, you correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't a reporter say, who is Brown? And Forrest said, if I tell you that, you go right to the treasure. Is that the one you're referring to?
Yeah, pretty close to it. He kind of stuttered on that one. He didn't really give a that, but they added a that in the transcript.
Okay.
No.
Well, to me, does that mean it's based on a real person? They said, who is Brown? And he said, if I told you that, you go right to the treasure. Does that mean in an indirect way that it is based on a person named Brown?
What I thought is I went back into the transcript then after watching the video, and they were pressing about a house.
Okay. The home of Brown, yeah.
Yep.
They mentioned a house, and he didn't correct them about it not being a house back then, which is unusual for him. He was pretty on the ball back then.
And
Yeah, but he's also said people assume things, and I don't correct them, because if he corrects them every time, then that's going to confirm a lot of things that he doesn't want to say. So I know your point. It's like, which ones does he, which ones doesn't he? But he has said, like, hey, if somebody assumes wrong, they asked wrong, or I answered a different question, it's like, it's on them.
But Sassafras says Forrest was just messing with the
I'm just saying, when you asked him about structures near the treasure, he kind of hesitated on that one, too, about answering about how the thing, because he didn't outrule that there may be clues that are close to structures.
Yeah, well, I think we asked the question, are there structures in the area? I don't remember which video it was, but he was like, no, it was the Aussie one. And he was like, define near. near
Oh,
to
yeah,
be
how close,
100
yeah.
miles. or
Yeah,
1,000
and he gave
miles.
an answer of 100 miles. But
Yeah.
I bet you can't find anywhere throughout the Rocky Mile and draw a circle and not find a structure within 100 miles of anywhere.
Yeah, that's true. Sassafras says he was just messing with the reporter. In other words, she could have asked any question about any of the clues, and he'd say, "If I told you that, you'd go right to it." You know what I mean?
No.
It could be a non-answer. I mean, it's possible.
Yeah, well, I just started from the beginning with the poem and stuff and went with just stuff that he actually said.
Right.
And one of the things is the 8 miles is just above Camel Rock, just north of Santa Fe there, and right around, what is it called? The casino there, Thunder.
The casino by Santa
Casino.
Fe? Buffalo
Yeah, right on
Thunder?
85. I drew a line
Buffalo
across
Thunder.
from
We've
there,
been
right?
there. Yeah.
And that's where I made my search, and I noticed that there is no Browns on the map for New Mexico, although it could be a translation thing for Spanish, right?
So you're saying on a map of New Mexico, there's nothing that's named Brown anywhere on a map?
Not if you go north,
Of Santa Fe.
only if you go south.
Well, that's interesting.
Richard's saying that casino is closed now. That's Buffalo Thunder. Mike and I have been to.
Oh, they closed it, huh? Yeah, we met Tom there, Tom Hardy.
Oh,
Yeah, there's
no
a golf
way they
course
closed
there
it.
too, or something.
Right.
No, there's no way they closed it in the last. That would be in the last 3 months. That I would have heard. I would have heard about this. They had a poker room. They were rocking. Yeah, Mike and I are sitting in the casino. We're doing the documentary, and we couldn't tell anybody that we were going to Santa Fe. And Mike and I are sitting there playing poker, and all of a sudden we hear Kpro, Cowlazars.
We were like, what in the world?
Oh my gosh. And it was Tom Hardy, and I didn't know him. So I was like, this is a conspiracy. People are after us. And the dealer goes, he's a regular. He's here. Like, he's here a lot of nights.
First thing you did was text Cynthia. Did you tell anybody we were here? She's like, no, I didn't tell anybody. So it was a top secret
I thought it
mission.
was interesting that Cynthia mentioned that she's using thermal maps for her home warm water salt.
Right.
She said that publicly?
Oh.
Yeah, she said that in one of her interviews of her, either on her own blog or in one of your shows.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Well, if you're looking for warm waters, why not use thermal? You know, you're looking for a geothermal something or other.
Yeah. Now, what I've been doing is I looked at that for myself for warm waters halt and canyon down, and then I was thinking, if I'm starting off in an upper elevation for my warm waters halt and I'm taking a canyon down, does that also mean that it covers the clue waters high and heavy loads?
That's the question, isn't it? Yeah. Right. I hope when we're there,
Well,
it'll
if
make
I'm
sense.
going down from waters already, right?
Right.
And canyon, well, a canyon is definitely lots of rocks, right? So that's heavy loads. Does it mean the same thing?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hang on. Somebody's asking what the number is here on Facebook. I guess we can put it on Facebook. Why not?
Are you doing a Facebook Live?
No. No, comment on Facebook.
Oh, no, I told Dan it's 8675309, and if he gives me a hard time, I'm putting up his cell phone number.
Nice, nice. All right.
The only other thing that I found was there's Brown Real Estate that's in the area that's been in business for 45 years.
Now, when you say Brown Real Estate, you mean somebody named Brown owns it? Or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then how would we
know
know
that-
that?
And it's called Brown's.
Do you know that the author
called
of this
Brown.
is last name Brown?
Say it again.
It's, the name of the
last
real estate
name-
company is Brown.
Oh, okay. But would that be
And that-
considered the home of Brown? I mean, I guess.
Okay. Do you
Go
guys
ahead.
want to hear?
Well,
I just want to tell you a little something.
the owner of the company is the same person, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
So
exactly.
is it his home or the business?
Her
Is the only
home.
thing that I came up with, right?
Go ahead,
And he's been in
Kpro.
business for 45 years.
Go ahead, Kpro.
So the person that runs the real estate company is also the author of BIP.
Oh, the last name
the-
of Brown. Yeah. I think, and that's been the scrapbook. That's been out there. But yeah, that is interesting.
It was not in the scrapbook.
The author of BIP wasn't in the scrapbook?
Yes, the author of BIP is in the scrapbook. That is a realtor that has done the real estate holdings of Santa Fe and no, actually of Waters, George Waters.
Really? Oh, interesting.
And Waters in his guest house. Do you know who he put in his guest house and lived there?
No idea.
Eric Sloan.
Oh, is that right? It's all connected, isn't it? Somehow, some way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Interesting. And how do you know this? Because you talked to her, huh?
No, do you know that you have a recording, for God's sake?
Oh, the video from Detroit?
Yes.
I wish you weren't a liar.
Well, I'll have to find that video,
There
I
you
guess. Yes, I haven't found the video yet. Yeah.
That's kind of the thing that I'm working on. And Brown's real estate isn't listed on a map. I found it because of Google, right?
And is this in New Mexico, or you don't want to say?
Oh, I'm not going to tell you that part now.
Because if you knew that, you'd go right to it.
You know,
It's in
like
Wyoming,
that
and
Brown
we
is
all
supposed
know
to
it.
bring
We don't
you
need to say
within
it.
200 feet of the friggin' treasure.
Exactly. If you said a state, that's like within 200 feet. Saying a state is 200 feet. I get it.
Okay. All right, Doug. We appreciate the call. But yeah, everybody's trying to figure out the same
The only other
thing.
thing is I can't think of Canada being, Canada border, 49th parallel, being the begin, because all that stuff is around 4,000 feet.
Well, can the clues be outside of our elevation?
Oh, that's such a good question. Can it be?
Right.
Can the clues be outside the search states, and can the clues be outside of
The
5
elevation.
and 10 too?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, if they're within a
You
mile,
gotta
like
come
what you
within
think, I would
almost
I'd say no.
100 and some odd miles from Canada's border before you start getting into any elevation for Montana.
Well, wait a minute. What about Glacier National Park? That's right up there on the border, isn't it? Or no?
Yeah, but you got to come way back in. You know what I mean?
Oh, down southern. Okay,
Yeah,
I got you.
it's like 4,700 around there.
Oh, I didn't know that actually. Okay, that's good to know. And how the heck do you know if I go somewhere? How do I know what the elevation is? Is that like GPS? Is that somewhere?
What's
I mean,
wrong
how do
with
you
you?
know?
Google.
I use Google Map and I go terrain.
And it tells
and
you
then
right
look
there.
at the map.
All right.
No,
Well, now I
just
know.
put in elevation of Nez Perce Trail, elevation of Bighorn Battle, elevation of. It's called Google. I'm not sure if you've heard of it. For the guy that gives me a hard time about AOL.
Okay. All right.
No,
well, we solved that
when I'm
mystery.
using Google Map, there's a option to put in terrain, and it'll give you elevations with all the lines like a graphical map, like for hiking.
Right. Okay.
And that might really help everyone when they're kind of just scrolling around. They can rule out areas. Oh, okay, that's under 500,000 feet. Forget about that, right? Or it's way over, 10,000.
Right. Yeah, for sure. If I found a
Anyway.
place, everything fit, and then I realize it's higher than 10,200, I'd be upset. But okay. All right,
Yeah.
Doug.
Yeah, cool. I'm going to go back to enjoy watching what other people have to say.
All
That's
right.
what I'm more
Thanks for
interested in.
calling, Dad.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Bye.
Well, okay, so not that it's a super secret hint, but I'll tell you, the worst part of the chase.
Wait,
by
it's not
far-
a super secret hint.
No, it could
Oh.
be whatever you guys think. I don't care if you think it's a super secret hint. I say that
Oh,
with sarcasm.
well, you got cut off by Forrest. All
Please
right, hang on.
hold. Please hold. I don't care.
Kpro and Cow. Oh, you got to turn that radio down. Or YouTube.
Okay, got it here. This is Richard.
Oh, hey, Richard. How you doing?
Hey, Richard.
Yeah, pretty good. That casino he was talking about was the Camel Rock Casino.
Oh, Camel Rock.
Oh,
And
yeah, and it did shut down. It moved over to Tasuki Casino now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because Buffalo Thunder's a big one. We were like, that probably has a
Yeah,
shutdown.
Buffalo
I
Thunder's
looked it
further
up,
on
and
down
they're
the road
like
there a little
open
ways. Not
before
that
you.
much further, but over the hill
Okay.
to it. Yeah, it's still there. It's
Camel
Camel
Rock.
Rock, the one he was talking about, and it shut down. The gas station's still open.
I never heard of that one. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, it's closed
they.
down.
I just remembered it because I was there in November, and we were going to stop there, my wife and I, and turned out they were closed. And it said we stopped at the service station, filled up there, and they said they moved up to the Suki Indian Reservation, and they're just right there off the highway. It's a real nice new casino.
Tasuki.
And this,
All
yeah.
right.
And that's the nearest one I know of, right there in that area, to Santa Fe. And it's about, I believe, 8 miles, close to 8.25 miles north of Santa Fe. And y'all were talking about elevations, how to find them and everything. If you're on Google Earth, you can look down at the bottom left-hand corner or right-hand corner.
Okay.
And it gives you 2 elevation readings. It gives you plus the latitude and longitude. It tells you what altitude ground level is at there, and it also tells you what your eye level you're looking from, how up in altitude you are with you're looking down at.
I've never thought to look, to figure out elevation. I just figure when I find the correct warm waters halt, and I will, it'll obviously be within the elevation because I'm in the right one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of them though that I looked at originally before Forrest came out with this above 5,000 feet and below 10,200 feet.
Right.
That I was looking at, and then when he said that, then I started looking down on the bottom corners. I said, okay, that rules them out because they're below 5,000 feet.
Right.
And so anyway, the Google Earth will tell you the altitude of where you're looking at of everything.
And if you believe all the clues are within a mile, like Kpro, then it would have to be within the elevation range. So, you know what I mean? You're saying you don't walk that far.
And if you find a warm water salt on Google Earth that you like, and you can kind of figure the other clues in there, you can use Google Earth, and it'll tell you the elevation of that area and the surrounding area, and you can just kind of move your arrow over the area you want to go to and zoom down to it. And the elevation changes to what that elevation is, and then what elevation you're looking from. Okay,
cool. Well, that's good to know. Once we make our little trip to Wyoming, I'll have to look up, like Medicine Wheel, is that above 10,200 feet? I don't know. I never looked it up before. That's a good question. That's
well, it's like the Wind River range there. Most of that is above 5,000 feet, but when you drop down into Meeteetse,
right.
It's not Meeteetse. What is that? It's that town at the end of
Thermopolis.
Yeah, Thermopolis.
Oh,
if you drop into Thermopolis, it shows you it's below 5,000 feet there in Thermopolis, and you don't get back above 5,000 feet till you get back to the north of Thermopolis.
Okay. All right. Interesting. And what state are you? What state are you in again? Where you live? What state?
Me? I live in Amarillo, Texas.
Oh, you're down in Texas. That's right. Okay, that's right. So far we've had the Philippines, up in Canada, and Texas.
I'm directly in the middle between Oklahoma City and Albuquerque.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. Thanks, Richard. I know Kpro wants to give us a top secret hint, so
okay, yeah,
we're going to make her.
I'll be listening there.
All right, thanks, Richard. Talk to you.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right, and I'm going to stop the phone line so Kpro can tell us what she was going to tell us.
You don't have to. This is about, people are saying, why are you shaking your head? It's because I have stuff to say, but people hear from me all the time, and they email me all the time that I talk too much. So let's make it about the peeps.
All right.
Let's make it about the peeps.
Well, while you're thinking about what the hint is that you're going to give us,
no, I already
let's
know.
talk about trickytreasures.com, everybody. And actually, I want to show it this time because
show that.
all those of you that were and also the eBay auction has got 14 minutes left, $411. But trickytreasures.com, anybody that was in AJ's room for Priddle Mondays, check it out. We can actually show the first clue. So 53 people have joined this thing. Here, let me read the spot, and then everybody will understand what we're talking about. So trickytreasures.com, you earn money by solving riddles, a new website game based on riddles where you can win money. You need to figure out what the answer is to the riddles on the playing board, like this one right here. A new riddle is revealed when a certain number of new players join the game. So the more you speed share Tricky Treasures, the faster the game will move. Once you have all the riddles solved, then you'll be instructed in a riddle where to send your answer to riddle 10. In other words, it goes all the way down to riddle 10 right here. When they get, 900 players, it looks like. So it looks like every 100 players, they release a new riddle. It costs $10, and somebody's going to win $5,000. But that's trickytreasures.com. But look at the riddle. It says the small blowing bear, easy, William. He loves it here. He'll strike out into the world No corn growed in or chewed. It doesn't rhyme, but blowing happens in the wind.
Oh my God, if it doesn't rhyme, whatever do we do?
So small blowing bear. What are the possibilities? Kpro, go. What do we know? What's a small blowing bear? Easy, stop it. What do I think of? Snuggles. That's a bear, right? What are famous bears that are small? Snuggles from the commercial.
Yes.
The Berenstain Bears, right?
What about the bear from some scary movie? Like
Bear from some scary movie.
A creepy movie, like that you would probably watch.
A bear?
Yeah.
Remember, not a small blowing bear. Anyway, that sounds like a creepy, scary bear. There's Yogi and Boo Boo. Boo Boo's a bear, but I'm not sure what blowing in the wind is. A bear that blows. What do you blow in the wind? Bubbles? I mean, small blowing bear. All right, the show's hit a new low, everybody.
Oh yeah,
This is pretty much the worst video ever made.
All right. Because of your gutter mind, it's gone downhill. All right, everybody. So we also wanted to show.
I heard a joke earlier from Kpro. That's
I'm sure that's what it was. Okay, that's trickytreasures.com, everybody.
Winnie the Pooh. That's what they're saying. Smoking
Oh,
the
Winnie the
bear.
Pooh. Blowing.
Gummy
Yeah,
bears.
that could be.
Gummy bears.
Gummy bears. Blowing in the wind.
Care
though, I don't
Bears.
know.
Care Bears.
Care Bear Stare. Remember that one? All right, we got 12 minutes till the eBay auction. And there's one other thing I want to tell everybody about. Did you guys know there's an app? Somebody made an app for the Forrest Fenn treasure. The Forrest Fenn Treasure Resource Guide is for those searching for the Fenn treasure. The app has the treasure poem, Forrest Fenn's clues, key poem word definitions, resource links, a compass, and a GPS location tool. And now, no matter where you are, you have all the key information at your fingertips. It's a great resource for when you do boots on the ground and you may not have the cell internet access. The GPS tool allows you to record your current location and saves the longitude, latitude, and elevation if you want it to. And the GPS info is only saved to your device. It's not copied anywhere else. I know how paranoid the searchers are. The app is available in the Apple Store, the Apple App Store, Google Play, and the Amazon App Store for $1.99. And I put it on my phone today. It's kind of interesting. I like it. I believe it was made by a searcher. So you guys check that out. The Forrest Fenn Treasure Resource Guide. If you search Forrest Fenn in the App Store, it's the only thing that comes up. I mean, other stuff comes up, but it's not Forrest Fenn related. You know what I mean? So somebody's had the smart idea to make an app. So did we figure out what the bear was yet or no? It would be cool to know what the answer is.
I'm sorry.
Winnie the Pooh.
I'll go back and look later. I will say Chris Merchant.
Yeah.
I do not believe because I was going to say Forrest. Mike, he believes he's banned from your channel. So let's look into it because I do not believe Chris Merchant.
I will check. I'll check, Chris.
Yeah. Let's look into that. Make sure.
All right. Tell us your super secret hint, Kpro. Then I'll open the phone lines back up. Or whatever it is you were going to say. I said within a mile, clues are within a mile, and that seemed to spark something you wanted to talk about.
No, you said, can hints come outside the search location? And since it's probably on some audio somewhere, so I'm going to just say, when Forrest said with my Nez Perce solve, he was like, as I've gone alone in there was when Chief Joseph Jr. had left his father in Oregon at his burial site. And then the first actual clue is where warm water salt, which everybody knows he thought sucked. And I am not
he
saying.
Thought sucked. Okay.
Well, some people say that he actually discounted and said I was wrong. They're wrong. I understand that I might not have it exactly right, but he just kind of rolls his eyes and do that sort of thing. He did not say, Kpro, you are wrong in your salt. He wouldn't do that. If you think he would do that, I don't understand how you're still on the hunt if you think that he does that. But anyway, I'm going to digress. But as I've gone alone in there I thought, and he's like, well, is that in the cert states? And I was like, no, it's in Oregon. And he's like, oh. Now, he did not say you are wrong.
Did he roll his eyes or anything?
But he rolled his, he was like, okay. And then when I was between solves, this was maybe 2 years later, when I was between solves, I was emailing him different WWWHs because at that point we went several years with never discussing the search. But then I was like, and he's like, well, is that in the Rockies? And I'm like, no. And I checked it. And I'm like, no, I suck at this. And he was like, ha, just keep trying. Now, did he say you are wrong?
Right.
No. And so don't start hating. I know some people are really wanting to hate on Forrest right now. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that he said you are wrong. He just said, is that in the Rockies? That was enough to me to say your WWWH should be in the Rockies. And in my opinion, never got into it, but between 5 and 10-2 and all of those other things, because I do think it's within a mile. So again, I'm not saying that Forrest said to me, WWWH is within the 4 search states, within this, within that. I took it that way. I'm probably wrong. Say I'm wrong.
But
hate on me rather than hate on Forrest. He's 90. Please don't keep posting posts and
we do have
focusing on hate.
We do have a call regarding that.
You are rude, you are lying. Don't be phony to your listeners, because otherwise they won't listen to you anymore.
Okay, that might have been somebody in India. But I'll say it's good information. Everybody can make up their own mind on, well, I didn't hear Forrest say it, I'm going to disregard it. But, I mean, if Forrest looks at you and says, is that in the 4 search states? I'm going to go, no. He's obviously telling you something, I think. And this thing is hard enough being within the 4 search states. Why look outside the 4 search states? You know what I mean?
Well, let me even keep going with, does that makes me believe, and this is a stretch, so is that why he won't rule out a state, even though there's one state that it might be in at the beginning with WWWH, but he talks about borders and it goes into another state? That's what I really started like psychoanalyzing. And I can't get there because Forrest doesn't give hints. I'm sorry if you don't trust Forrest and you don't think it. But
well, wait, what do you mean? Is that why?
Did Forrest say to me, is that in the 4 search states? Does that mean that all the clues have to be in the 4 search states, but they don't necessarily have to be in the same state? He didn't say, is it in the same state?
Right. No, I believe you could cross a border for sure. Like, for, borderline biddies, he went to borders and all that stuff. Yeah, I think we're contained within the 4 search states, the highlighted area and Too Far to Walk, but it could be within states. Yeah, could be.
Well, and that's my only point is he had said to me on 2 different occasions when I said, as I've gone alone in there, was Chief Joseph when he left his father's grave. That started in Oregon, and then WWWH, that was the conversation. So I know there's a video or an audio out there. I won't have it exactly right. I didn't record it. I didn't take note. I didn't do any of that. So I'm just going off of memory. I might not have it exactly right. This is how I felt about it at the time. And that was the WWWH dip your toe type of question. Now, did he say you're wrong? And did he like do the you're a lawyer? No,
he
just
didn't do that.
did the generic. So there you have it.
Kpro and Cal.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a solution for the poem that no one else has ever mentioned, said, anything.
Well, how long have you been in the chase, and who are you? Or just first name or handle?
Yeah.
Lee. And,
okay.
Yep.
Lee.
And I've been in the chase for about a year and a half. I haven't done any boots on the ground.
Okay.
But my solution, and if you guys will have me on, or if you'll just give me a call afterwards, I'll email one of you guys.
Well, we do have a marathon coming up. You might want to be interested in coming on, right? And Kpro's going to talk about the marathon at the end of the show.
Yeah, and are you Lee A in the chat?
Am I what?
Are you Lee A? It's Lee space A dot in the chat?
No, I'm Jason Alex 1234.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay.
I
hi,
asked
Jason.
for the number,
Lee.
and he put it up.
So are you saying you're where Warm Waters Halt is one that you've never seen talked about before or posted anywhere?
Correct. Yep.
Oh, that's interesting.
And I have everything down, and when I show it to you, every single bit of it will make sense. It's undeniable. It's like, I know you hear that, everybody says that, but once you see this, everything will make sense.
Now, you got plans to go and look for it this summer, or you cannot make it? What state are you in?
I'm in Illinois, but I can make it this summer, but it's going to be late summer.
Okay. All right. Well, then you got to decide when you want to give out, I guess.
My solve ends with the double omega, and once you see it, that'll make sense too.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Well, I will say the one thing that a lot of new searchers don't know is there's some old blogs out there. There's one in particular that I started with, and when it started going south and kind of going not in a direction I wanted, I had like over 2,000 posts there. I went and deleted over 1,500 of them. And I know a ton of searchers did because they didn't want to be associated with a site that was so negative. And so I do think that there's some stuff out there that might not be out there anymore. So it'd be really interesting to talk to you because I might be able to, not that I've been in the search the whole 9-10 years, but I might be able to say, oh, such and such had something about like, who is it that did all this? Astri. Astri doesn't post as much, at least on Thor, Chase Chat, some of the older or some of the other forums, but you might have a cipher or something that I saw Astri at a time or I posted at a time. I've deleted a lot of the stuff. And so there's not a lot. I mean, treasure hunters are finicky. So it would be interesting to talk to you.
Yeah, and also once I explain myself, like a lot of things that he says will make sense. Like like he says, what does he say? In a word, he says in a word, yes. And he says,
the blaze. Is the blaze a single object in a word? Yeah.
There's few searchers that are in tight focus with a word that is key. And once I explain that, you'll know exactly what it is.
So is it a word that's in the poem? You think you figured out which one it is?
Well, it's actually it's not a word. The way he's really cryptic in the things he says. He's not saying it's a word that is key. He's saying to take a word out of each chapter that is key.
Oh, that's interesting. So, out of the book, out of the Thrill of the Chase.
Out of the book, yeah.
Okay.
So, basically, each line in the poem, if you take a word out of each chapter in the book, you can associate that with each line in the poem. And then if you have a location, you can, and once I have my location, you can take that word that you associated with the chapter, and then you associate that with the line in the poem, and then that will give you the place on the map. So
that's
You
interesting.
pinpoint that, and then when you go to the next line, the word that you took out of the next chapter.
But first, I want to hang on. I want to break in because the eBay auction is about to end. We got 50 seconds. It jumped up to $610. So we'll keep an eye on that. I got it up on the screen for the countdown. 48 seconds left. And, me and Kpro, we're not part of this auction. We don't get any money from this. It's just Nelica's a friend of ours. And anybody else has got something on eBay, let us know. We'll show it.
Yeah.
It's interesting to the searcher community. So, okay. Do you want to say what state you're looking in, Lee, or no?
645.
Who's going to get it? He's in Colorado, everybody. All right. That's interesting. So, yeah, come on the marathon. We have a little bit more time, and we could go over yourself for whatever you want to share.
All right. I'll send you an email if you can send me a link or something.
Yeah, for sure.
In reference how to get a hold of you guys.
Kpro3@AOL.com. Oh, 821, it just jumped. 10 seconds left. All right, thanks.
All right, thanks.
All right.
881.
Yeah, let's see who gets it. 881. Will it go to 1,000?
911. 911.
Oh, that's a hint.
Oh, wow. That's a hint.
$911, everybody.
No, go to 38 bids. Let's see.
It's hidden. It's hidden. You know what I mean?
Right, but we can see how many searchers it is. Like, so
I gotcha. Yeah. All these different people.
So there's A, 3, O. There's basically 3 and P. There was 4 searchers before it hit $500 or after it hit $500 that were just battling it out.
I thought it was going to go to. See, I still think eBay needs to change it. 911. Congratulations, Nelica. I still think eBay needs to change it. That if somebody bids within the last minute, it prolongs the auction another minute. They used to do it that way, unless I'm thinking of something else.
Can you imagine us during I was ready to have a heart attack during the maps.
It gives somebody a chance to bid again.
I didn't even know you at that time. I was like, oh my God. I mean, I knew you.
Kpro and Cal.
Hello.
Hello. Who we got?
Mark.
This is Mark?
Hey, Mark, turn down your radio
or
on
YouTube.
Your YouTube on your site.
How you doing, Mark? Where are you calling from?
Kentucky.
Oh, Kentucky. I got relatives down
Nice.
there. All right.
Anyway, I just wanted to say hi, Kpro and Mike, and I wanted to let you guys know something, or everybody really, and I've really never heard anybody talk about it. But in the prefix of the Thrill of the Chase.
Yes. The preface. Yeah.
Yeah. He says that the book, when he writes a book, anybody writes a book, it only has to be 85%, and 15, not, and he says how he lies a little bit. I forget the word he uses.
Embellishes,
anyway,
maybe. Yeah, I know.
yes,
I know
yes.
the part you're talking about. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, here's a couple. Here's three real quick, and there's a bunch in the Thrill of the Chase.
Okay.
And on page 83, he says that 18 days earlier he had been shot down and being shy. Okay. Well, he was shot down on the 20th of December, so 18 days earlier would be the 2nd of December. And then in his recent scrapbook 247, I believe, he says it was 119 days earlier. So there's a big lie right there. 119 days versus 18 days. That's a lie, okay? Unless he got shot down 3 times that I don't know about.
Well, he did
And
get
then-
shot down twice, but I don't know when he referenced 119 days from what. You know what I mean? 119's back from what date? I'm not sure. I'd have to read it.
Oh, well, you got to look at scrapbook 247. He says he
Okay.
got shot down, and then 119 days earlier, or whatever. You'll see it when
Okay.
you read in scrapbook 247. Okay, and then on page in My War, Me, the same chapter, on page 89, he says he's already on the jungle floor, and he woke up in the morning first light, and he's writing down what happened the night before so he can remember, right? And he says, my first pass 250 degrees into the sun. That's a lie right there. I don't care where you are on the earth, unless you're on the North or South Pole. If you're going 250 degrees into the sun and it's 5:55 when he got bailed out, you would be going away from the sun, because the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. Okay, so that's a lie. And he says he always wants to be precise, and he usually is in figures and stuff. But there's so many things in the book that nobody mentions, and they're definitely either hints, clues, or
Right.
something.
And
Okay.
Has he ever said he
So-
wants to be precise? I've always heard him like 85-15. I kind of ballpark it.
But we won't say
Right.
lies, but they could be one of the subtle hints, because he said, what is a
Well-
subtle hint?
well,
Something that catches up in
here-
your
check this
brain.
out.
Or
On
an
page
aberration.
89,
Yeah.
On page 89, he says, I made my first pass at 250 degrees into the sun. Okay.
Right.
If you're going 270, that's exactly east, okay? So that's 2 degrees off of going straight east, okay? So at 5:55, and I checked it too for the December 20th when he got shot down, and it's totally bogus. And then the other thing I wanted to mention is there's bogus things there's lies that you can confirm the lies in Too Far to Walk. Like, for instance, he says in the Thrill of the Chase, when it shows the house there, he says the house was built in 1930, the same year I was born, in the Thrill of the Chase. In Too Far to Walk, he says that the house was built in 1928. Okay, the same year
Subterfuge,
Skippy
right?
was born.
Subterfuge.
Anyway,
Isn't that
so
that's a-
there's a lot of, they're not discrepancies or typos. They're flat out lies. And I'm not saying he meant to lie. I think it has a lot to do with hints.
Right.
And if you go through the book and you go through both books, see, one more thing I wanted to say. I'm getting a little bit too long in here, but the other thing I wanted to say was, you know how you've heard him say this when he says, somebody holds up, I forget where it was, it might have been on his book signings, somebody holds up the book Too Far to Walk, and they say, are there any hints in this book? One occasion he says, there's no hints in that book, but there is, because the poem's in that book.
you know. And then on another occasion, he says, yes, there is, because the map's in the book, you know, on the
Too
last
far to
page,
walk.
you
Yeah.
know.
Right.
Too far to walk. Okay. Well, how about this? Nobody's ever asked in this, and I haven't had an opportunity to. You guys might be able to, though. But ask them, if you ever get a chance, ask me if there's any confirmation in Too Far to Walk, because he says there's no clues in that book or hints, but there might be confirmation to the clues in the poem. In other words,
yeah.
I believe totally that that everything. Yes, you can get there with the poem alone, but it's really hard. You'd have to boots on the ground and spend a lot of time there. But with the book and that, it tells you exactly where the blaze is. Okay, and I don't mean like the state. I mean, yes, it does tell the state, but it doesn't, you know, give you a grid coordinate to go there. You know what I'm saying? But it's there, man. I'm telling you. So someone should ask him, is there any confirmation in Too Far to Walk?
Yeah.
And
Okay.
people should really start looking at all the lies in the book. He even said this one time. You can even look this up. He even said one time, because I'm surprised. He said, you know, this is not exactly quote, but he said something like, I can't believe nobody has noticed the lies in the book. He goes, and one of them, well, I don't think he said one of them, but he said something to the effect that when he had the job as a dishwasher, he had to get up at 5:45 and had to be to work at 6, and he had to walk through 2 or 3 blocks, and they're real long, and he says that's impossible to get there by that. And so in other words, he's given reference to one of the lies in the book. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So anyway, I thought I wanted to put that out to everybody in the chase set. There's a lot of lies in the book. I just mentioned a few.
Okay.
I want to throw back out the word that you're using. The word that you're using has a very negative, deceitful connotation.
Right.
He uses the word centrifuge or subterfuge. And he uses the word 8515. When you say lie, it's like intentionally deceiving in a negative and nasty way. And I think the other words he uses, it's more, there might be a hint in there. There might be some intent and reason for it. It's more
I see what
playful,
you're saying.
so.
I guess. I'm not too hip on words. You know, I wasn't too good in English in school, but
right.
Or you know, but I understand what you're saying.
See,
when I say it's a lie, I'm not saying I don't hate Forrest. I think he's great. He's a hero. All that stuff. I'm just saying maybe they are subterfuge or whatever you said. But what I'm saying is they're not true, and he did it on purpose. He did. These are not mistakes.
Right. Oh, I agree with that.
For a reason.
The subtle hints are there. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. Okay.
In other words, real quick though, look in Too Far to Walk, and I can't believe nobody's ever said this. Too Far to Walk. It says the house was built in 1928. It burnt down when I was about 4 or 5 or 6. Even that's a lie. I mean, it's not a lie, subterfuge, whatever.
Right. But, aberration. It's an aberration.
So, in other words, just about the house alone, there's 2 things that don't make sense.
And are we talking about the house in Temple, Texas?
Yeah, the house in Temple, Texas.
See, I would have to look into that. I've never noticed that either.
You know, it burnt down twice, but they didn't own it when it burnt down the second time. I think the people that that bought it after it burnt down, but it burnt down once when he was alive. And he says, I think in one book, he says, he said he was about 4 or 5, and then that 2. So when did it burn down? I don't know, but that's not,
Well,
anyway, I'm going to let you guys go. I love your channel, and there's a lot more than that in the book, I'm telling you.
Okay.
All right?
Before you go, I want to ask you a question. One of the questions that I asked during the interview, and I think this one's out. If it's not, well, who cares? Is what do the aberrations, the errors mean? Are they hints? And Forrest asked me, well, what do you mean by aberrations? And I said, like the error, there's no D in knowledge when you put it in your book. And maybe I made another one. I don't remember. I was like, the errors. And he's like, there's nothing to them at all. Do you believe he's even being more mischievous?
That question was about the scrapbooks, right?
Listen, you just blew my mind when you said that. I know where the aberrations are in the book. There's 3. And I don't want to say where they are because I think I've been on the boots on the ground 9 times. And I'm telling you right now that you're really close. I've never been to Fimbury. I've never chatted, on the thing on anybody's forum. I've never done that. But if I go to Fimbury, I'll be showing. I'll be handing Forrest his bracelet. I mean, it's pretty neat. It's pretty neat. I just wanted to tell you guys that he says that there's things that are in the book that aren't true. And I think even in the prefix, he says 85%, you only have to be right 85% of the time. So 15% of the book it's not that much, but it's approaching that. There's a lot of things. If you look at all the books he wrote and do facts and around those things that are lies or whatever, there's clues or hints. Oh, another thing too. You guys know this. There's only 9 clues in the poem, but there's 50 or 60. I mean, it's just there's hints everywhere in that poem.
Okay, we're going to leave it at that. But thanks for calling in. We appreciate the point of view because that's what the show's all about. So, all right.
You guys take it easy, okay?
All right, we will. You too. Thanks.
Now, I do have to say, those of you that didn't know, we had 2 searchers say that they were bringing the chess to the World Series Open. They did not show up. Last year, we had 1. They did not show up. We have many already for Fenbury that are gearing up to say they're bringing it to Fenbury. We'd love it. I do not recommend that because I don't recommend that. I'll give you 100 reasons why. If you've been clever enough to find the treasure, you should know why you should not bring it to Fenbury.
So for Thursday's show, I got to get the new T-shirt, Cowlazars, everybody. Cowlazars for the lies in the book.
No,
they're aberrations.
Aberration Lazars.
And we can all, aberration Lazars. We can all be wrong about what they are. Only Forrest knows what they are. So there were a couple people that were taking issue with a couple things he said in the chat. So we want to keep on going, or you want to wrap it up? What do you think there, Kpro?
Jack. He's like, who said they would bring it to WSOF? I wouldn't dare. Jack. Yeah, I don't know. No, it was not you, but I could see you saying, I'm going to have it at the next whatever. No, I'll keep talking for a minute. We'll take one more call. So if you want
one more call, everybody. All right.
But I want to say, in case he'll probably watch this later, Alan K is 40 years old today. And I won, not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 cookies on AJ's channel tonight. I'm giving all 4 of them
Brittle
to
Mondays.
Alan.
Oh, nice.
Alan is a sweet guy, but unfortunately, on his 40th birthday, he also lost his grandma. So we want to wish him condolences, but also he hit a milestone.
Right.
Life is a funny game of poker. So I'm so sorry for your loss, but I am so appreciative of your milestone. You spent it with us in AJ's wonderful riddles. Please go and see AJ Rainville. I will say it's not exact because the chat room sometimes nudges out somebody, and I deserved one more cookie.
You didn't get it in on time. That's all.
I will say they gave one to Kpro that he probably shouldn't. And it is a family show. And so Kpro really likes to do riddles, and he actually kind of got one. So they kind of gave him one. They're all virtual cookies. So it's not like it's real, even though it's
there
serious.
He is right there. See, I just got 4 cookies because he put 4 in the chat. So
no, that's for me.
Oh, I thought it was for me.
Tonight mine. So I have 8. You have 0.
AJ Rainville on YouTube. It's called Brittle Mondays, everybody. Check it out and subscribe. Every Monday before our show goes live. Other person I saw in the chat was Fenny Bones. Fenny Bones has a YouTube channel that I think is pretty funny. What do we got to do to get you to come on the marathon as Fenny Bones? A lot of people think it's somebody we know that that is a character, so to speak. I don't know about that, but it'd be cool if you come on the marathon.
It would be. Yeah. It would be.
Cookies matter.
So
AJ Ray.
I will say I am just starting to build up. I sent an email out to the Titans that I had gotten some interest. the Titans. So we're calling it Battle of the Titans. If you want to see, here's some examples. Cynthia battle somebody, MEH battle somebody. There's a whole variety of people that are known in the community, known to be able to do some, Alan Kay is another example, some really good research that could bring a head-to-head discussion. So I put out about 10 or 15 different topics and said, it's kind of like Cynthia and I don't consider myself a Titan, but Cynthia and I did North versus South, and we brought some research to it, and we did some work. It'll be heavily moderated. It's going to be you get 1 minute, you get 1 minute, however that looks, counterpoint, point, counterpoint. It'll be on the marathon to kick off. And so I just sent those out. And then I have about 10 brand new people that have never been on YouTube or on our channel. That'll be the next. I'm going to start building up the agenda. So it's March 28th. So mark your calendars, because God knows you need to mark off 12 hours of Forrest Fenn discussion. It'll be awesome. So somebody asked, can they battle Mike? Yes.
Oh, is that right?
I will moderate. They can battle Mike.
Okay.
Mike can moderate. They can battle me.
Be careful. I'm going to bring it. Be careful. And we did have a super chat go by. Were you able to write that question down? I saw the super chat, but I missed it. So whoever, my identity is forever sealed, Fenny Bones. Whoever sent the super chat, thank you very much. It was about, I believe what he asked was, do you think warm waters is warm water? Something to do with warm. But ask it again in the chat for that.
Please ask it again. And it is warm, it is water, and you can dip your toe in it. There's no question to that.
Randy says, when's the marathon? When's the date?
28th of March. It takes
Saturday,
about a month to plan.
March
It is
28th.
a Saturday when Mike doesn't have kids.
Right.
I always have kids, but it's when we could work around travel schedules and all of that.
We're starting earlier this time. That way we don't finish at
Yes.
2 o'clock in the morning Kpro's time. So I think we're going to start at 9 a.m. Pacific time, noon Kpro's time. Do the 12 hours, maybe have an after party. We'll see. But the 28th, Randy. Anybody that's interested in coming on, email Kpro.
Oh,
Kpro
that was
3
it.
at AOL.com.
Randy just said, he asked if Warm Water's Halt was warm year round.
Thank you, Randy.
I will say
that's a good question.
It's a great question. The most compelling WWWH I've ever seen was in the dead of winter, where there was snow everywhere. You know who you are. You don't chat in our chat room anymore. In the dead of winter, and then there is just this water spewing out because it's that hot.
Well, it was a hot.
And I thought,
well, for some reason your camera went blurry, and I don't know why.
I don't know why. Because I did this.
Yeah,
I don't
maybe.
know.
So, are there any hot springs that are not hot in the wintertime? Do any of them like freeze? Yes, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
When
that.
you go
Do they?
under, so if you're up in Montana or Wyoming and there is 3 feet of solid ice, some of
froze.
some of the
Oh, wow.
well, like Ojo Caliente, I don't know if it does or not, but
Yeah.
No, there's a lot of areas
That never occurred to me. So good question. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Good question.
So Finder says, what's the email again? Kpro3 at AOL.com for
I'll
anyone
put it in the
interested in the, but they stay
Marathon.
hot, but Doug, if they're not hot enough, they won't penetrate the 3 feet or 4 feet or 2 feet of the ice to actually be visible all year long. That's my point.
So to answer his question, you think the correct where warm waters halt is warm all year round? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
we're
sir.
looking for
Yes,
where
sir.
it halts. So interesting. Okay. All right. Okay. So yeah, March 28th is the marathon. Email Kpro. Make sure you put marathon in the subject line if you either have an idea or you would like to come on the show. And if you would like to battle one of the Titans, it'll be a point counterpoint. There'll be a certain amount of time. We'll give you all the rules and everything before we do it.
So we're going to shorten up the initial guest to a half an hour because we do have more interest. We're trying to give priority to brand new people on our channel. And there's been at least 8 to 10. We still haven't worked logistics and things, so it might drop off to a little less, a little more. We don't know yet. And then there's people that have been on our show that are loved and awesome that we want to also get on. But we had 16 people last time. We already have 8 to 10 brand new people. Some are Facebookers that no one knows. Some are, and then we have to do sound checks and technical checks. And then we have the Titans. And then we have a special, a couple of specials that I'll just call, it's March 28th, everybody, Saturday, March 28th. The other thing is we're going to do some on safety. We just need to, always, because there's too many new people in the hunt. Somebody asked me if I would go over Fenny Bones. I only argue with myself. We need to find a way. I don't know how. Maybe you could type in your response, but something. It could be fun. Because you are a tuber. Maybe not a Titans because it would take a little bit longer, but maybe it would just be fun to do. So those of you that don't know, the marathon is 12 hours. Then there's an after party. It went 14 and a half last time. It is our most watched show of any time, any way. So I just say, please be there. It is so much fun. So there you have it.
All right. Well, more phone call. Whoever wants to dial it, it is open before we wrap things
and then
up.
we're done.
And we will be back Thursday.
Yeah. So
with a brand new show.
So I just went over that. Let's see. There has been a few of you that have asked if I will. Okay. First, I need to say I'm having trouble keeping. This is going to sound silly because I don't think I'm as important as Forrest. Well, hold that off.
Kpro Cow.
Who am I last?
You are last. That's correct.
Last is best.
Cool. It's a Dave sandwich.
Ah, you were the first, and now you're the last. All right. A little too
It's
seriousness
like the Omega.
going on in the chase.
Nice.
So one more thing I want to say.
Okay.
The thing he says about if you know precisely where it is, you can probably retrieve it in any weather or any time of year.
Yep.
That should stop anyone from thinking that it could possibly be under any kind of snow at any time, because if it's under snow and ice, you cannot retrieve it any time of year, right?
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. But as opposed to if it's in a cleft in a rock, it would still be, you could get to it, is what you're saying, right?
Yeah, as long as you could get to that
area.
That rock.
Wait, so you can't move ice because ice and rock? Well, I would think you can move snow. It's just not easy. It's easier when there's no snow there, but I think the opposite is what I'm saying. I know what your point is. I'm just thinking you just move the snow, and if it's snow with ice on it, if it's puffy powder. I lived in Kansas. I tried to make a snowman because I didn't know about snow. When it's 10 degrees, you can't. It just makes a little teepee. And I'm like, why won't it? And it's because it's not warm enough. And so I think if it's just powder, move it. So that even shows more why it's in the northern states, like Wyoming.
It's going to be interesting when it's finally found.
Yeah, for sure.
And then
Wyoming.
all of our perspectives are just thrown on the trash pile.
And 98% of us are going to be totally wrong, which is really
It's going to be
interesting.
sounding like Ohio, and we're going to go, what? I mean, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Okay. Thanks.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, everybody. What were you saying, Kpro, before the phone call came in?
No, I don't remember. Doesn't matter.
You were, I don't know what you're saying. You got interrupted.
I was saying I'm having a hard time keeping up on email. Don't take it personal, guys. I have some stuff happening in work and personal stuff.
What?
The one thing that
you
I'm
have
being
a personal
asked,
life? What?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The one thing I'm being asked about is, will I call people? Mike is the gauntlet for me. If you don't get through Mike, you don't get to me from a phone call perspective. We've had some issues. I am not taking that leap anymore. Unfortunately, I just have to kind of put a barrier up. But if Mike's like, oh, we've Zoomed with a couple people, but I don't take it personal. It's everybody. And it doesn't mean I think you're a 7%er. It's just right now I can't do that part. So, but if you want to go back and forth, I try my best to get through everything, but take it personal if I am not able to, because some stuff's going to be really going. I work at a school, and until the end of the school year, things are going to be crazy, and then summer will be better. But that's when everybody.
It's
has
rare that I talk to somebody on the phone, but I have done it. I won't say I've never done it. Now we have this phone number, which is a way you could call and leave a voicemail if you really want to. I'm not promising we're going to call you back, but yeah, if there's just something you need to tell us and you don't want it to be on the air, we could always do a private Zoom or something. There's options. Just let us know. Kiwi Road says, Kpro, you still doing a fishing project with Forrest? What's that all about, Kpro? A fishing project with Forrest.
Kiwi? What? That's an interesting question. Maybe we should go offline. I didn't know that you would. I don't know what to say as a response to that. Like, Are you fishing or are you? Do you know something?
You mean like fishing for clues? I get it. Is that a little twisted? I thought you were actually talking about fishing, like somebody going fishing.
No, I think he's saying. I think that's an interesting question, but I didn't know that was public information. So I want to know what you know before I answer any of that. I will just say there's always projects. There's always things happening. There is some new, old, there's always things in the works. So, but I will not confirm Kiwi.
Well,
I didn't expect it from you.
You know what they say, don't you?
Whatever you do is going on Facebook.
Whatever you do is going on Facebook, and people hear about it. So don't know if that's where Kiwi heard about it, but it is possible, I guess.
Yeah, and William, can you remember that? Anything on Facebook, ends up in court. Can you remember that, buddy?
Like twins.
Come on, buddy.
Hashtag blowing bear. Okay, everybody. Thanks for joining tonight. You went there. I didn't go there. You went there.
No, but I did it more generically. You went really there.
We got it. Breaking news. Doug Heiduck says $500 for coin 3. I don't think that's high enough, is it, Kpro?
Oh, I bought it for $910.
There you go, everybody. And it only appreciates in value. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, everybody who called in. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight. I think we've figured a couple things out tonight.
I confirm nothing. I don't know what you're talking about.
What's that?
As I responded to Kiwi, that confirmed something.
That's
subterfuge. That's me. That's my poker. I win poker games. There you go.
You. That's all you care about.
Okay. I have no idea what you two are talking about, but it's still fun to try and figure it out. So, what have we learned tonight? We learned that all 9 clues are definitely 100% within the 4 search states. We learned, what else did we learn tonight, Kpro? We learned, now within the elevation, I don't know. That's a good question. But I figure it probably is the same elevation as the treasure chest.
Has to be within 5, 10, 2, has to be within a mile or within a couple miles. I think from
within a mile sounds about right.
The last clue, and I'll go over why more later.
Doug says 1,500 for coins 1, 2, and 3. We don't have coins 1, 2, and 3.
I think one,
but that still would not be enough.
2 went, I think the combined of what you're saying is nowhere near the people that had purchased them. So, Copper Dan might though. I mean, I heard he was out just throwing that coin everywhere.
Copper Dan. Copper Dan. Okay.
Copper Dan.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We're having a little bit of fun. And I'll just say this. I hate to say it, but I will say it. All this is our opinion. You guys should know this. You guys are intelligent adults. Everything we put in our videos is our opinion. So when Kpro says we have a big super secret hint, it's her opinion. We're having a little bit of fun. Just like with the soundboard. We have a little bit of fun. But I think it's good to have a little levity, jocularity. No, a little levity within the chase. And I think I want to know what Forrest has said to certain searchers. Personally, I'll make my own decision. But I think it's good for the chase to have an outlet.
And I just posted on Facebook, somebody said, I am particularly sarcastic on Facebook of like, Forrest will rule out a hint if
or a
we
state.
go on live tonight or we do this. And they're like, I can't tell when you're sarcastic, so can you please not do that? And they were kind of nice about it, but I got a little snarky and I responded on Facebook with it. Well, first of all,
don't be a player hater.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Let's just assume everything I say is sarcastic. And number 2,
there you go.
If you can't figure out if I'm sarcastic, you have no chance at this chest. You must just quit the chase now. Huh? Yeah, so we're done at this point. So anyway, and I mean that in fun, but come on, y'all. If you take me seriously, oh my gosh, this is my fun. This is not my job. This is not how I feed my kids. So I love being here and a part of things, but I will not. Somebody asked me, can I not be sarcastic? That's like asking me. I'm sorry.
Some people don't know us, don't know our sense of humor, that we like to joke around. Is the chase very serious? For some people, not for us. We like to have fun with it. There are some people who, because I put a picture of Forrest on the phone for the thumbnail for this video, thought Forrest was actually going to be on the phone. And it was emailing me questions. Ask Forrest this and ask Forrest that. No, it's just a random picture I grabbed off the internet, letting everybody know we're talking about Forrest Fenn on the phone.
You've got to come clean. Forrest has handed you, when we were there, like, Mike, talk to this searcher.
I did pick up Forrest's phone, because he gave it to me. Yeah, that's true.
So, Mike, so in summary, and I would like you to clip this for later.
Yeah.
Mike Cowlazars is Forrest Fenn.
Yeah, okay. Lazars. Yeah, that was interesting. Okay. Yeah, I haven't played this for myself.
I wish you weren't a liar.
All right, everybody. That's going to do it. We heard a couple different points of view on the phone, and that's okay. There's room for everybody in this big thing we call the chase. Somebody else on Facebook said, how did he put it? Why do you think it's not going to be found this summer? Remember on Facebook and the Grand Adventure? Forrest Fenn's Grand Adventure on Facebook, everybody. He said, why do you think it's not going to be found this summer? Or don't you think it's going to be found this summer? Right?
Yeah, and Forrest Fenn said 100% it's absolutely not going to be found this summer, and you can hold me to that. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Well, what I said in response was, I haven't seen anything this year that I haven't seen every other year for the past 6 years. You have the people who say they know exactly where it is. You have the people who say, I went there and it was gone. You know what I mean? It's the exact same stuff. So what I said is I will change my assessment when I actually hear or see something that's different than every other year. But that's just me. Again, just my opinion, everybody.
I was being sarcastic.
Yeah, right. Me and Kpro don't have any inside information. We don't have any more info.
Yes, we do.
Well, we did, but you told everybody everything. So
no,
because Kpro's up front and tells what the discussions with Forrest, and we give you guys the info. So
I don't know. Right. It's just fun. Let's just have fun. Yeah, we have surprises that are going to come.
That's true, Jack. Forrest did call 2020 the year of surprises. You are correct there. We don't know what that means, but he did say that. That's true. And we're already into March. We're in month number 3.
In my opinion, I know what it means, and it's going to be so good.
Okay. All right, everybody. We'll see you Thursday. Same bat time, but different bat channel. This is the Hint of Riches, which you should be subscribed to. Go over to Cowlazars and subscribe. Thumbs up the video, and we will see everybody on Thursday.
Wait.
What?
Because on Cowlazars' channel, he didn't invent hip hop, but right. He was there when it was invented.
There's a yogurt video out there if you can find it. All right, everybody. We will see you on Thursday. Bye.